Return with 2 creatures, 1 and 2. Oh, man, I could have drawn a much more cards. I didn't even think of that. That's fine. I'll bounce those 2 back to your hand instead. Totally fine with that. Hello and welcome to the Batcave, your secret hideout for Brawl gameplay and deck tech videos. I'm your host, BlindBat8719. On today's video, I'm playing for you my Tamiyo Compleated Sage deck. Before I do, a small ask of the audience, please click the subscribe button down below. Help me grow the channel, it's greatly appreciated. Also, if you like today's video, please share it with your friends. Now, onto the deck tech, Tamiyo Compleated Sage. Converted mana value of 5. She costs 2 generic, a green, hybrid blue-green Phyrexian mana, and blue. So basically, either, like I said before, converted mana value of 5, or you can pay 4 and 2 life. If you do that, instead of coming with 5 loyalty counters, she will come in with 3. Plan of the deck is to be a tempo-based deck and kind of abuse her +1 ability until I can ultimate and get her -7 off. The -X, it will be used sparingly to kind of help me with the board state, but that's not the goal focus of this deck. The +1 ability, tap up to 1 target artifact or creature. It doesn't untap during control's next untap step. -7, create Tamiyo's Notebook, a legendary colorless artifact token with spells you cast cost 2 generic less to cast, and tap, draw a card. This is maybe the evolution of emblems, where this creates a artifact token that can be interacted with and be bounced or destroyed by my opponent's effects, unlike if it was an emblem. Now, the strategy, like I was saying, it's a tempo-based deck, so what I want to try and do is get down one of these early creatures onto the battlefield, and then limit the amount of creatures on my opponent's side of the field. So I'm playing a lot of bounce effects. I'm not a huge fan of fight, but like Fading Hope. I have it Into the Roil, Inscription of Insight. It's kind of like a definitely big 2-for-1. I like to kick this when I can, but ultimately I'm using probably the first ability or the second ability, depending on how the board state looks. Another good one that I had found for me was Winterthorn Blessing. It kind of does a little bit of everything. There is a sub-theme of +1/+1 counter. So by this puts a counter on one of my creatures, which will turn on, say, the Kodama of the West Tree. And then it taps a creature down or freezes a creature for a turn. Now later on with the flashback, I could do it a second time on a separate turn, or if it's late enough in the game, I could do both in the same turn and either give 1 or 2 creatures +1/+1 counter and tap down 2 of my opponent's stuff. Other interesting creatures I put in, Dragon Turtle. You could swap this out if you wanted for, like, I think it's a Frostbird or something like that. I just felt like this is a little more flavorful. It's also a bigger body, and I think with the flash, it makes your opponent think you have a counter spell up. Then you flash this in and you're good to go. And then with some of the other stuff that I have going on in here, again, for the plus Burial Outrider, because I want to do a +1/+1 counter theme, this is like one of the best green cards for +1/+1 counters. It also means that I am playing Snow. The deck dictated this is what I need to do, so this is what I have in there. Ranger Clouds also is a great source of +1/+1 counters. Jugan Defense Temple, it's interesting. It does give me a ramp spell, and it gives me a way of putting some +1/+1 counters on everything. This is a pile of other creatures I have going on that on the big side. Kur, the Boundless Sky, could be replaceable for whatever other dragon you want, but it's I think it's a she. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've wanted to play with her, so that's why she's in the deck. Tanazir Quandrix, I do like playing gold where I can, and with a +1/+1 counter theme, Tanazir Quandrix I think is a nice finisher of sorts to help out with the deck. Aberbrook Caretaker is a beating, with constantly being a source of +1/+1 counters, and if she happens to flip over, transform to her other side, giving everything 2 +1/+1 counters and giving them Hexproof is amazing. Greater Tanuki is in here as a flex card, either be a 3-mana search for my 4th land drop, or let me ramp to 4, or later on in the game is a big 6/5 beater with trample. Vorinclex really fits the theme in here, whereas Jin-Gitaxias not so much. But because Tamiyo is completed, I wanted to at least have a nod flavorfully to the Phyrexians. These two here, Spring-Leaf Avenger and Colossal Skyturtle, I want to point out is a fun little cute combo, because I could use the Colossal Skyturtle for one of his channel abilities, namely the return target creature to its owner's hand. It's now in the graveyard, but because it's a permanent, if I happen to hit the Spring-Leaf Avenger, deal combat damage, I could bring the Colossal Skyturtle to my hand and keep reusing his channel ability. It's a little fun combo that I discovered playing in Limited, though it's a little trickier in Limited because this is a rare. Board wipes real quick. We have Kairi the Swirling Sky, probably for the most part going to be bouncing things to my opponent's hand. And if all else is really going bad, we have Cyclone Summoner to bring everything back except for Giants, Wizards, and Lands. Card draw is just Wizard class, Spirit of the Elder Guard. I'm playing green. I'm playing Snow, so I think this is the better option. Then the ramp card, the Turtle Druid. Eureka Moment for gold. This is my 25th land as well, but also can just draw me a bunch of cards, hopefully. Arcane Signet, Replicating Ring, and Celestis from other nods. Celestis I threw in here as well. I just played a matchup in testing against the Werewolf Commander Torvar, and I believe this is a good way to control that matchup a little bit. In terms of land effects, Hall of the Storm Giants, where's the other one? Lair of the Hydra, Faceless Haven on the Manlands. And then for abilities, we got the Otawara Soaring City to bounce something if I need to Boseiju to destroy, Artifact, Enchantment, or non-basic land, and then Field of Ruin to blow up, something I don't want my opponents to have. With the deck tech out of the way, let's jump into the arena for some brawls. Alright, so this is an example of a hand I'm definitely going to be mulliganing. I only have the Colossal Skyturtle playable this early on. I'm playing against Snik, piloting a Liesa Forgotton Archangel deck. One, Snik, I'm pretty sure that's a Wolverine reference, which I think is awesome. Two, now about Liesa. These are kind of like grindy, try to outplay you. We want to get to grind you out sort of deck, so that's something to keep in mind. Things, when Liesa gets out, your thing don't go to the graveyard, they get exiled, and the opponent's things come back to their hand. It's a slow start with the two coming to play tap lands, but I'm going to keep this. I can definitely, so I'm looking at maybe a turn 2 Ranger class, and then the following turn, probably end up using the Blizzard Brawl, I would say, unless I draw a land. Snowfield Sinkhole from my opponent. They already said hello, but I'm going to say mine back. And, okay, so we got a Hall of the Storm Giant. So let's go off with the Rimewood Falls just to get the snow thing going to maybe help out the Blizzard Brawl a little bit here. Elderfang Disciple actually is not terrible. I'm going to go with the Spirit of Elderguard. This way then I get something that make my other spirits, maybe other creatures, cost 1 less. So we'll play out the Hall now just so that I'm able to... Oh, did I screw up my lands? Yeah, I might have screwed up. I didn't realize there were double green, so I kind of have to draw another green source for the Cemetery Prowl to be any good. Otherwise, I'm looking at a turn where I'm going to play the Quandrix Campus out. Ooh, okay. Alright, now things get to be interesting a little bit here. The opponent's a little further ahead than I would like. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to level up. If I fight the 1 now, that puts it at 1 toughness. Alright, and then he'll get the draw. Alright, so let's swing here to 3-3. If they double block, which I didn't think they were going to do in the first place, so that's fine. And then I'm going to fight the Morbid Opportunist and kind of clear my opponent's field at the moment. Now this way it frees me up. Next turn, I could play the Quandrix Campus and tapped if I need to, and then play out the Cemetery Prowl and get rid of a creature. Or if they only play out 1 creature, I can play out a Tamiyo and try to start using her thing. Opponent is playing black, so okay, maybe I'll take a turn off with Tamiyo then. Again, with black, they have easier ways of destroying Tamiyo right off the bat with some removal spells. Into the Roil would be pretty sweet. That might be very useful. Yeah, let's swing first. Alright, see if 4... Because I don't really expect any flash creatures right now. Alright, we're getting to 4 damage. Pretty sweet. I don't think I need to worry about Into the Roil, and then this is 4 mana. That definitely becomes an interesting question of... Play out the Cemetery Prowler now. Yeah, let's be more aggressive, and I can always find a turn to use this to start looking for more cards on top. I think if my opponent... No, if my opponent had gotten rid of the token, I most likely would have... So let's get rid of some creatures... So, let's see. Let's go with, actually, the Elderfang, because that's an ETB effect that will probably mess with my hand too much. Alright, so all the colors are kind of taken care of right now. Alright, that's fine. So that was the thing they could have been using against my Wolf token. Alright. So Liesa's out. Go at Tamiyo. Oh, no, wait. I don't need to... There's no reason to pay the 2 life right now. Let's tap down Liesa. Swing in. And let's just start getting rid of my opponent's graveyard of stuff. Unfortunately, by his ability, if you get 2 creatures, I don't actually get like a double reduction on the cost of a generic cost of a creature, which is kind of sad. I might be eating a Blizzard Brawl next turn to make my... Oh, actually, I need an instant. Do they have an instant in it? Yeah, I might need the Vanishing Verse next, so that the Into the Roil is actually 1 cheaper. So here's Downfall. Okay. Yeah, take that into the action. Now my opponent doesn't play a second creature out. Alright, Selfless Samurai. That's not bad. Jin-Gitaxias. Oh, wow. I haven't really had a chance to play with him. Don't kind of know what to do right now. So let's just swing. And let's get rid of the instant in your graveyard. So now the Into the Roil is a little bit cheaper. So what's kind of sweet actually with Selfless Samurai now is that you can sacrifice it to make Liesa indestructible, and then it goes back to the graveyard and then goes back into your hand. Honestly, I think at this point I'm going to stick with just playing out Tamiyo. Keeping Liesa tapped. Usually Liesa is something I'm going to want to bounce for the most part because she is just something that affects the battlefield way too much. But if they can't attack and they got to rely on this 2/2, I'd rather see them beat with my cards. And this way then, if they are a controlled creature deck, so he could get another creature out, and that could definitely be a problem. I probably should start playing the Face. I should have maybe played the Faceless Haven instead. Alright, Exploit. Exploit's pretty awesome with Liesa out. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. So they're going to go down to 5 now, it looks like. Ooh, okay. Keeping the creature count up. That's fine. Relic Vial. And then this has an activated ability. So I actually have the game right now. He just doesn't know that. Or maybe he does. But what I'll do now is, because again, I've been playing a pattern of tapping down Liesa, so he's thinking I'm going to continue doing that. Whereas instead now, I'm going to tap down the Fellstinger. And now, I will just kick it. Bounce back the Selfless Samurai. And yeah, so the opponent sees what's happening. So, Snik, thank you very much for the game. Let's go on to the next one. Alright, this hand I think is fine. I'm playing against TheAweDude, piloting a Koma Cosmos Serpent deck. So, this is, again, a late game deck. A little bit of control magic, probably some ramp, and the game plan will be to try to get the Koma down and then win the game by out attritioning me at that point. But I'm going to keep this one. I have a Wash Away, which is useless against the Koma because it can't be countered. But, ooh, start by saying hello to my opponent. I'll lead with the Hall of the Storm Giants. The Wash Away again can just be cast for the cleave cost to be counterspell for something that's not Koma. There's the ramp going right like we said. Play out Lair. Let's go with Suspicious Stowaway. Next turn, I'm either looking at a Tanuki or a Dragon Turtle play. Definitely be interesting in using a Dragon Turtle on the upkeep, so that way they have to use the mana right then and there. If they ramp again, ooh boy, it's definitely going to be kind of scary. Confounding Conundrum. Ooh, okay. That's definitely a way to beat it. He probably plays a lot of the mirror match. Let's see what we can do here. I think we're going to attack first. This way then, I'm able to draw and discard. And I'll get rid of the Thorn because I have enough of my colors. I don't want anything that comes into play tapped right now. Now the question becomes, I'm trying to think this out. Do I use the Graded Tanuki next turn? I can't fight this. I get the flip though. Ooh, we foretold. I think I use the Tanuki here actually. Because this way then that also lets me turn my Blizzard Brawl into an actual thing that can kill the island. Alright. Oh no, I'm not going to play the Tamiyo out now. There's no need for that. Now what does this say? Just say, deals damage to a combat, draw a card. Alright, so this would be interesting. I gotta think about this real quick. Actually, well, getting the 6/5 in play. This adds mana. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think getting in the more damage is honestly better, and I'm not even casting a spell right now. And now that lets me get back the Tanuki so that I can continuously be ramping on my opponent's turn. One of the benefits of Spring-Leaf Avenger with the channel ability right now on the permanents is I get to kind of reuse all that stuff. Alright, so we'll put one on the upkeep here. It's still nighttime. So let's just swing and see what happens. I gotta think about these auto trigger things. Oh no, it wouldn't have worked with the Draidic Tanuki at that point. I think it's kind of obvious I got a counter spell up for my commander. So I think here I just play the Suspicious Stowaway. End the turn. Flash in the Dragon Turtle now. Because now either they counter it, in which case then they don't have the mana to cast their commander, or it resolves and I tap down one of their sources. Target the Carotid on the off chance they sneak in some powerful thing. Malevolent Hermit. Alright, so now this I could say we could roll out this is like, well, not that it's a counter spell, but I don't think it's I'm trying to narrow this one down a little bit more. I have 2 guaranteed the hit. This is not untapping. I think that is a counter spell. Pay the 2 life for the Tamiyo. This way then, because since the Wash Away is useless against the Koma, I can use this in case that's the counter spell for the Tamiyo. There's the Saw It Coming. So now I can cleave the Saw It Coming. I'm going to tap down the other mana dork they have. And then just swing and draw a card. Alright, yeah, I cast 2 spells. That's fine. I think that's totally fair right now, because now they're stuck on 5. And the Sludge Monster might fix some of the issues they have, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Actually, I have Boseiju. Alright, yeah, so there's a deck in action, kind of controlling. Again, my opponent's strategy was to ramp up by me tapping down their mana dork so they can't ramp. Kind of negated their game plan. So TheAweDude, thank you very much for the game. Let's go on to the next one. Alrighty, the opponent goes first, and I'm playing against Edvor 9, piloting a Kaito Shizuki deck. I'm going to pass on this one. I'm going to mulligan this one. I think it could be more like a 2-drop play or something if I can get it. Alright. I don't have any green, so another mulligan for this one. Oh, we'll keep this. And honestly, I think getting rid of the Thornwood Falls is fine. I'd rather keep the Vorinclex as a possible card to work towards than having the 4 mana and all the ramp stuff. So start by saying hello to the opponent and playing out the land tap, decline. Alright, so actually I think keep that in mind actually, giving between the 2, because I think I squared that to the bottom right. Thornwood. If I knew that I was going to play that first, probably the Thornwood wouldn't have mattered as much. A rogue class? Okay, alright. Command Tower. Lotus Cobra. So they're not going to be playing. I don't expect them to be playing Kaito out next turn, though. It wouldn't be terrible to get out the 1/1 blocker out. Oh, the 1/1 unblockable thing out. Alrighty. So that's 4 mana for me. Let's see. Let's get a blue. If I play out the Celestis and a Cemetery Prowler. Actually, there we go. Get the Tamiyo out. This will tap down the attacker. So now it's draw and discard is the only option here. And then I can probably... He's at 2, so Lotus Cobra could probably finish him off. Because even if the opponent plays another creature here, I can tap that down with Tamiyo if it's a 1 thing. Alright, Flunk. Alright. I mean, I think that's a good call. I would probably use Flunk as well. Alright, so we got to play out Otawara, the Soaring City, as a land. Again, I would probably... So, alright. I probably was a little hasty with that. I could have taken a moment to minus the 2 to bring back Lotus Cobra to then landfall, give me 5. Cemetery Prowler. I'm going to go with the creature for right now. And then a wizard class so I can set up a return. This way I'm hoping that what I can try to do here is my opponent maybe might, well, they're not going to do the menace bit, but if I can get a Vorinclex online, that would be kind of nice. Because also then, too, they'd have to deal with him first. So they try to replay Kaito. Kaito is safe because he'll enter the battlefield and he will phase out at end of turn, but he'll only come in, you know, I think he only comes in with 3 in the first place, right? Yeah. All right. So let's knock out the Kaito. And then, yeah, let's tap down the ninja. Because, again, there's no point in just tapping down the Emerald when I can't pay the ward. And let's see now. Now, again, if I happen to draw land, Jin-Gitaxias might be able to bail me out of some stuff. Because now my opponent has to play out 2 removal spells in order to remove any of my creatures. Oh, you're right. I forgot with I'm thinking he's going with 5 to 6 and whatever. I forgot the fact that, yeah, because of Vorinclex, Tamiyo actually gets up to 7, so it has a little bit more to play with here. And tapping down Imrif now, it seems to be, okay, that's 6 for my opponent. It's not too bad. But again, that land with Jin-Gitaxias, now it becomes more of an issue. And we get the land. 3, okay. So we'll tap down Imrif, so no more card draw. And let's get rid of Feed the Swarm Shore. I don't really expect him to be reanimating the creature right now. Jin-Gitaxias. So that should hopefully keep me going a little bit more. It should slow down my opponent's stuff because now he needs, again, like I said, so Jin-Gitaxias is staying around another turn short of him having like the Meat Hook Massacre for 5, which would just wipe the board. Now he's going to ninjutsu something in. Nope. All right, that's good. He gets a card off of me, but he has to now pay 4 first to get rid of it, or to even cast it. My play next turn is pretty simple. Probably just do Wizard's Class first. Alright, he attacked. He'll draw some cards. Ooh, Inscription of Insight. That's actually pretty sweet right now. So this is counter unless it pays 3. I bounce 2 things. I don't draw, but now he's got to reset his hand a bit. Yeah, alright. Return with 2 creatures, 1 and 2. Oh, man, I could have drawn a much more cards. I didn't even think of that. That's fine. I'll bounce those 2 back to your hand instead. Totally fine with that. And then next, I'll attack my opponent. We'll get rid of this guy. Swing for that there. And let's draw some cards. Let's submit 0, and there we go. Alrighty. Yeah, so Jin-Gitaxias is helping me out with the win right there. Endeavor9, thank you very much for the game. Let's go on to the next one. Alright, so yeah, this hand, I'm going to keep this one. I'm sorry, I'm really excited right now. Playing against Camadt, piling an Isshin 2 Heavens as 1 deck. I think this is what I could probably do pretty well against. But I'm just really excited the idea I can play Lotus Cobra on 2 to then land drop, Ranger class, and put the counter on. So I'm going to keep the 7 here. And I'm really excited as I realize I only have 2 lands. So start off by saying hello to the opponent. And we'll lead off with the Snow-Covered Island. Still not too bad. I have a Blizzard Brawl I could rely on. Ooh, Environmental Sciences. Alrighty, that's some good fixing. So that's going to give him his red source. He'll have his commander online on 2, I'm thinking, is what he's going to plan on. So definitely got to play the green and get that Lotus Cobra out. Otherwise, next turn is looking like more of a red, not the commander, Nadar. Nadar's sweet. Yeah, definitely a lot of the venture cards, the dungeon cards, got a lot better with Isshin out right now. Oh man, right on time. Alright, so Blizzard Brawl, this is where things get to be slightly interesting. Play that, get a blue source, and I actually think bouncing him back to the opponent's hand and drawing a card, I think that's the better use of what I want to be doing here. Alternatively, as I'm saying this, I probably could have just played out Tamiyo instead, as that's more of a guaranteed play than anything else I've just done right now. Alrighty, so, okay, whew, up to 5. I don't have 3 Blizzard things just yet. So 5, go for a green. This says control, you can do 3 more snow permanents. So actually, me going for the Spirit Guard gets me a Snow Forest. Yeah, no, okay, that wasn't the right play. Well, let's swing and see if I get a free swing in here. Because it's tempting. It's a Lotus Cobra and it's been doing a lot of work. Alright, so Blizzard Brawl. Oh, actually, whoops, totally goofed that up. Forgot about the +1/+0. Missed a little bit of damage there, but all in all, it's still keeping my opponent in check, creating the game state that I want to be in, where they have 1 to no creatures in play or that can attack. Next turn, it gets to be interesting. Well, alright, not so much interesting anymore now. Let's see, do they play out the commander at this point? Because it's a 3/4. Ooh, okay, so I guess to be a little bit trickier. So Decisive Denial is nice. I could fight. I could try to play Spring-Leaf Avenger. Creature, he's the one that can attack. So I think Tamiyo is my best bet here right now, honestly. So tap that down. Get in for 3. Now I will be paying more mind for the idea if I get a land, I can always -2 to bring back the Lotus Cobra to then jump up to maybe being a 6 or 7 drop play, which the Cyclone Summoner is not really looking that good for me at the moment. Yeah, I figured there'd be some more removal, so take the action. But it's still not bad, because again, if I get a land, I can replay her again, and then, you know, kind of everything is hunky-dory for me at the moment. I don't trust myself to be able to... If that was his last play and there was no creatures in play, I may have left her in the graveyard so that I could Spring-Leaf Drum... Probably not Spring-Leaf Drum. Spring-Leaf Avenger her back to my hand so I don't have to pay again a certain cost. 6. I think just being conservative now, probably my best bet. Because I could try to ninjutsu in the Spring-Leaf Avenger to bring back, a Lotus Cobra. But I really don't have a follow-up play then. Other than having a 6/5 in play, then he's playing black. Which means, again... Simple, just pays the stuff and destroys it. It's pretty cheaper for him to destroy one of my creatures than for me to put it into play. So I think here, just take the 3. This is a good one to ninjutsu back to my hand, though, because then I can replay it and get another creature. So I think now we go with the Ranger class. This will leave me with maybe a Decisive Denial to fight something later on. And then if I don't do that, alright, I lost the mana a bit, but then I can set up go to level 2 on the Ranger class, swing, and then use Decisive Denial to fight something. Now again, all of my actions are probably telling my opponent that I have a trick up my sleeve. Normally you'd probably want to play this and pump and then make this a 4/4 to win combat. And if Isshin wasn't untapped, that may have been the play. Right now I was kind of hoping if I get to that 6 mana line, it'll be a tough call, because powering this up, having access to the Decisive Denial, I think is pretty sweet. Also getting a Kairi out, though, it's a 6/6 flying ward thing that essentially will bounce everything my opponent has to his hand. That's one of the other lines of play. And then alternatively, I still can get Tamiyo back. Well, he can do that, so that's fine with me. Ooh, alright, that's a good one. What is this say? It's +1. Oh, wow, that's pretty sweet. So now this costs 4, that's 7, so a little bit too much. Tanuki is nice. I think now is the time to actually channel it so I can make sure I get that 6 land drop. Now we're up to 7. Alright. Rimewood Falls. Whenever your opponent casts a spell, he's got 1 wide open. I think I gotta pay the 2 life here. Yeah. Tap down the Blood Purveyor, swing in with the Elder Guard. He could have a pump spell, but I don't mind having this block Isshin for right now. If my opponent gets more of the support things that allow him to pump or lifelink Indestructible, I don't think Indestructible is one of them. That would be a commander option.
for Isshin, then yeah, that's going to be a little bit more tricky. But I think keeping down Blood Vial, Purveyor will be sweet. And then, alright, Feed the Swarm. So that's another 4 damage to the opponent. Baleful Mastery. Alright. Yeah, take the action. I don't think nobody expects the Spring-Leaf Ninjutsu. I think he'll risk it. I think he'll risk the attack. No blocks. Because now I swing. I ninjutsu in for 4. Bring back the Ranger class. That's fine. You're not going to hurt me because now I'm going to fight you. Spring-Leaf to the Isshin. Alright, and that should almost be about it. So I think I have enough mana that, you know, he has to play out both creatures. So it's almost there. I just need that one extra thing to keep me going. The other possibility, oh wow, he's really going to go for it? He's got to have another backup thing. Though I see why you may not need that, because that's pretty insane. I pay the 2 life, am I dead? I mean, push it. I just more worried about if I push it and I have and I spend my money on Tamiyo and he has a removal spell, then I'm dead. So I'd rather force him to have something. That's fine. And then I have to play out Tamiyo here, because if I pay the 2 life, it just makes my life too much more difficult. So we'll just keep the Blood Veyor tapped down for right now, and then I think in my graveyard. She's at 6. So the Tanuki can definitely come back. I could bring back the 4-drop, feed the Serpent, totally fine. So now at this point, yeah, it's basically tap down the Purveyor, play out Ranger class, play out Kairi, and yeah, might as well level up now. This way, then this puts my opponent in a tough spot where they need a couple of creatures, and I think the Kairi's definitely going to pull me in for this one. Alrighty, Camadt, thank you very much for the game. Let's go on to the wrap-up. Alrighty, and that is the video for today. Overall, deck was fun. Like most of my decks that I built was fun to play. Win record was 6 wins and 6 losses, so it's 50-50 based on the record. I think I could have played a little better in a couple of those games to push the scales more towards like 8-4 record or something like that. So it's on me to start playing a little bit better with my decks. One of the beauties and difficulties of the deck, at least with the tempo bit, is that it can be tricky about when to play your spells, the right order. Sequencing is very important in this deck, what to play when, and there are still some combinations of things that I haven't, or permutations of plays that I haven't seen all yet, and I was discovering them even while playing with you guys on cameras, or on the screen at least. So that's part of the thing, is just be mindful that you got to sequence your plays very precisely at times, and know when to push, when not to push. If you like today's video, click the thumbs up icon down below. If you really like what I'm doing, please consider subscribing to the channel. Please also, if you're down there, drop a comment. What did you think of the deck? What cards would you swap out? Anything you think I could have played better? As always, thank you for visiting the Batcave, and have a great day.